All right, welcome back, everybody. Wow, what a way to arrive at this particular point in time. We're coming into the winners match between Bonyth and Jaeyun, and I think we were all maybe a little bit questioning who would be the player that would kind of rise above everyone who isn't Bonyth. But I think it's still very clear that Bonyth is way up on top of Mount Olympus, and so all it's going to take is one more best of 3 for him to ascend to true godhood, and obviously then the round of 8 on afterwards. But it's not done yet. Jaeyun could have been sandbagging a little bit, but if the previous games are any indication, Bonyth is a strong favorite in this best of 3.
Yeah, Jaeyun I know doesn't play that often these days, so it's kind of showing a bit, but he still looked pretty good. He still did what he does, take bases, builds a ton of units. So Bonyth does need to be careful. He does need to make sure that he doesn't get supply block, which we've seen him consistently do around 60 to 80 so far. There is still a good chance for Jaeyun, but Bonyth is just so good, man. I don't know.
Yeah. What else are you going to say? Like, I feel like a lot of analysis goes into exactly why Bonyth is so good, but it all kind of comes back around to Bonyth is so good. So, you know, sometimes it's best to sit back and watch the master at work. So I'm ready to go. Are you ready, Nyoken?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. Game number 1 of our winners match best of 3 is Sylphid. One of these players is going to advance on to the round of 8. One of them will advance on to the losers match. So let's get into it. Game number 1 on Sylphid. All right, welcome everybody to Sylphid. In the 12 o'clock location in the red, playing Zerg from North America, it's Jaeyun.
In the bottom right, it is the Polish Protoss, Bonyth. Well, Rapid, we may not have to pass the curse because we already saw Dragon get knocked out, the Walt get knocked out from the previous top 4, but Bonyth looking so good today. More than likely going to make it out, and definitely he won't be cursed by no. What is the Artosis curse? Isn't it like he predicts someone to win and they never win?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so, dude, this is the thing about Artosis, right? Like, he wants more than anything for something iconic to be just like the Artosis thing. So he keeps like trying all these wacky things, and the curse is what's stuck. But in fact, it is in fact just the word curse being used in conjunction with his name. Like before Artosis, people knew what curses were. And then Artosis came along and people still knew what curses were, but then we get the Artosis curse and somehow this is different than every other curse before it. Except that it's actually just completely the same. So, I don't know. But yes, that is what happens. Artosis predicts a player to win, and he doesn't win. So, yes, it is in fact a curse.
Well, we're going to see a cursed build because this... Oh, I thought this was a 9-9 gate, but it is just a 9 gate and probably like an 11 gate follow-up maybe from Bonyth. Or maybe it is just this... I guess I would have to re-watch our first game on Sylphid. I thought we just did 10 gate when we did Gateway Expand, but so far 1 gate, and we do have... I think this was Overpool from Jaeyun.
I mean, forward 9 gate makes this Zealot get there super fast. So I'm actually really excited because this is really going to be the stress test for Jaeyun.
Yeah, and this already throws a wrench into Jaeyun's style because Jaeyun wants to face the Forge. He wants to just build those drones, and now he's not going to be able to. But at least he knows who he's playing against. He knows Bonyth likes to go for the Gateway Expand, so he's definitely going to have something prepared, I imagine. Probe doing a good job to block this hatchery. Actually, Jaeyun's decided that there's no chance of it getting up. He's going to put a hatchery down at the high ground.
Blocking that hatch is really, really big because you just, like, now look at how close this hatchery is to these Zealots coming out. You just made your opponent build their stuff closer to your stuff that's about to kill it. So, obviously, the point of the Zealot is not to kill the hatchery, but it's still going to be oh, actually, wow, he turns around right as he sees the Zealot, so that's actually pretty cool. Or right as he sees the Lings, the Zealot turns around.
Yep, Jaeyun made 6 lanes. He still doesn't know exactly what Bonyth opened with, but I guess he's assuming that this could be a gateway expand. We already saw him build 6 lanes versus Ghost to Dark, so maybe it's just his go-to build when he goes for an overpool. 4 lanes coming in here, sees that there is one Zealot. I love how Bonyth has positioned his Probe and Zealot at the entrance to make sure that there's no Ling run by. He's already learned from the games versus Crossy.
Definitely a learning process here. Yeah, I don't think you can compare Crossy to Jaeyun. They definitely play different styles. So something to keep an eye on. Obviously, these Lings are just going to be annoying, put on some pressure, and the Zealots are going to come back up and bop them. So it is going to be interesting, though, to see what the follow-up is here, because once you double expand as Zerg, you kind of have to take a little bit of a second to sit back, relax, and either go all in or hold on against what could be a bunch of Zealots coming your way.
Now look at this. We had the Forge in the main last time. This time we have a Forge at the entrance. Even though we don't do interviews, I wish we could get an interview with Bonyth after this, because I want to know what the reasoning was behind the Forge placement at the front this time. Like I said, I thought it was player specific versus Crossy, and now that he's facing Jaeyun, maybe again it is player specific. He knows how passive Jaeyun is. There's no threat of losing the Forge, but I'd really like to find out, because this is interesting why he's already just 2 games today completely different, once in the main, once at the natural.
I want to say that's because of Crossy's style. I think he thinks that Crossy is like a Korean meta slave and just would go for the new hotness, that 9, 7, 8, 12, 16, 22 build,
Yes.
That one, yeah. But I think Jaeyun's style is obviously much different, so I don't think he thinks Jaeyun is the kind of player to like 3-hatch Hydra bust him, right? And I think he's probably correct on that read, except that he's not. So, I don't know what else to say. He is going to get 3-hatch Hydra.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a Hydra bust, and let's check the saturation for Jaeyun. He's got 9 drones in the main. He's building a few more drones, so this is somewhat of a variation of the 973 build, and this may already be a blind counter to what? Well, not a blind counter, because Bonyth still went straight Citadel, and I remember in the video, Zero was talking about if you open Stargate versus this potential opener, it's kind of a free win for the Zerg. So already a good counterplay from Bonyth. He's got a Dragoon coming out, so he's going to kill that Overlord also, and that may already just really hurt Jaeyun, because he's starting to build Hydras, and if he gets the fly block, well, all of a sudden, that 12 Hydra push that he wants to snipe the Gate and Forge, that's not going to come through.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest counters. It's like, well, you need to build a bunch of stuff, but you can't build a bunch of stuff. Sorry. Now, you just referenced Zero, perhaps one of the greatest Zerg players of all time, and his analysis would be that Stargate's maybe not so great against this build, but I would counter that with the analysis of Twitch chat, which says that maybe Stargate's okay against this. Now, I'm not sure who I'm going to believe here, but I'm going to assume that if Zero says something and Bonyth is not doing that something, I'm just saying, you might not want to pick this hill to die on, Chatterinos. Let's see how this works out for Bonyth.
He's got speed halfway done. +1 is already past halfway done. He doesn't have the 12 Hydras just yet. He's gonna... Does he have range? I didn't get to see if he had range. Okay, actually, Jaeyun's building a lot of Hydras. This is like 1500. Here he comes. He pops the first cannon. This is before speed. There's a lot of links to buffer the damage.
Ooh, this is really good. If you can kill that much off of just your speedless Zealots, wait until these things kick into overdrive. I mean, I also love like the 1 Dragoon in here just to get that last little bit of damage in, and let the Zealots focus on doing what Zealots do best, and that is lawnmower these Hydras.
Yes, the speed kicks in, and he just pushes Jaeyun back like it was nothing. I was so worried that all the Zealots were going to die when they didn't have speed, and now he's got more Zealots and Dragoons than... Oh, actually, he doesn't. But he's going to have more Zealots than Jaeyun has Hydras pretty soon, because he's got 4 Gate already.
Yeah. And I mean, the Zealots are pretty damaged, so he did kind of sacrifice a lot of HP. But spoiler alert, he's got 4 Zealots at a time pile driving across this map. And, man, these Hydras are, I mean, they're going to do their best to stutter step, but you don't stutter step against Bonyth. You just respect it and head back home. So the Zealots are going to die eventually, but they are getting quite a bit of Hydra kills, and that's exactly what this is supposed to do. So pretty much mission accomplished.
Yeah, he did cut down on the Hydra count, but he does have very few Zealots left over. I guess it's 7, 3 cannons. Jaeyun, meanwhile, has taken a 4th hatch, not a 4th base, but he's setting up to take a 4th base pretty soon. But again, just like in the series versus Crossy, I'm just worried that our econ is too poor. It's still 20 drones. Jaeyun, no lair anywhere. We're kind of all in with this. He's got to get something done.
Yeah, and I mean, building the hatchery means he's just going to want to flood more and more and more. But man, these Zealots coming out 4 at a time off of a great economy. 42 probes behind this, and he's not stopping building them. So he is just a big believer in the Zealot power, and I think that's a pretty strong power to believe in.
Well, the Hydras are doing a good job. I love the splitting up of the Hydras. Sure, he's losing a couple Hydras here and there, but he's minimizing the losses as best he can. As I say that, the Zealots kill way more than I thought. Still no big.
Still no big?
Still no big gateway flood from Bonyth just yet. Okay, he did just start building Storm, and he got a few Templars. He is actually going to transition into a mid-game army. Remember, Bonyth hasn't gotten vision into Jaeyun's base at all. He doesn't know that Jaeyun's stuck on 19 drones.
Yeah, that is true. This is kind of do or die. I don't know, these Hydras are trying to calculate pursuit curves. Like, what's the optimal distance to be from these Zealots? I don't know if math is their strong suit. I mean, I'm just going to, I don't know. I'm going to pretend these are smart Hydras and that they know what they're doing. Ooh, catching the DT coming out.
Yeah, DT got spotted, but there's no sunken at the Nat. There's no sunken at the 3rd base. There's an Overlord, luckily, at the Nat, but no Overlord at the 3rd base. What happened to the 3rd base? There's 0 drones there. None.
Yes, I too am surprised about this. There's 2 hatcheries, 6 larvae, 5 larvae, but no drones. I mean, microing Hydras takes a lot of APM and focus, so sometimes you just forget about some stuff.
Well,
oh, no.
Hydras are busting the front, but DT got into the main, and that means that these Hydras that Jaeyun has, he has to win with them because his econ is non-existent now.
I don't know if these Hydras are what you win with, Nyokin. I just don't know about that. Whoops. Okay, now I definitely don't know about that. Big Storm takes out half of them.
Yeah, so this is going to be Bonyth probably cleaning it up very soon. He's doubling supply. He's got triple the econ. This is perfect. This is exactly what I was expecting. Bonyth just so good with the Zealots, man.
Yeah, wow. Well, sick. Bonyth, I mean, almost with just Zealots alone. I think he did make a single Dragoon, but anyway, you get the idea. He was killing it. What a monster. So he comes out on top in game number 1, and that means that it's 1 game away from Bonyth kind of speed rocketing his way into the round of 8. I think you know, it wasn't looking too well for seeded players in the round of 16 after Dragon lost, but Eon Zerg dominated. I think Bonyth is pretty much just going to dominate through here. So if there's some MJ's secret stuff that Jaeyun wants to drink before his next game, he better do it now, because Bonyth does not look like he is exhibiting too many flaws today.
Yeah, I just don't know how you stop him. Like, every time he does this gateway expand, I don't think I've ever seen him lose with it. It's just ridiculous how much damage he gets done.
Yeah, I also, like, he was killing Hydras with speedless Zealots. I feel like I just don't see that very much. So he just makes the impossible possible, it seems. His timings, his positionings. Notice, like, we were talking about the forge positioning. It's like, well, where do you put it? Where's the best place to put the forge? Bond just knows. It's like, well, if I put it in the front, it's not going to die this game. And I'm like, but you're getting 3 hash Hydra busted. That's what kills the forge. It's like, no, I just killed them with Zealots. Like, well, yeah, but don't you need speed to kick in? It's like, no, I just killed them before the speed and after the speed too. Okay, Bonyth, wow. All right, you just go right ahead with that, sir. And that's kind of what we saw. So, wow, I don't even know. I mean, Ground Zero is a much different map, so I don't know. Do you think this is going to play better for Jaeyun, Nyoken?
Well, Ground Zero is a good map for Zerg versus Protoss, so I would assume that this is a better map for Jaeyun than Bonyth, but Bonyth is just winning the game on 2 bases. So, I don't know. Really, the hard part of Ground Zero is getting a 3rd base. You've got to take the middle of the map if you want gas, or you take a mineral only that's far away and doesn't really help you. So, I don't know. It's going to be tough for Jaeyun.
All right, well, let's get into it. Game number 2 of our winners match is on Ground Zero. And the winner of this series will go on to advance to the round of 8. And we're about to find out who that's going to be. So let's get into it. Ground Zero for game number 2. All right, here we are in the upper right-hand corner. Fuck, God, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Every time it gets harder. I just have a spinner over here, and I just pick a direction and say it. In the upper left-hand corner, in the magenta, is our Polish Protoss player, Bonyth.
And in the bottom left, it is the American Zerg, Jaeyun. I don't know what Jaeyun can really do because Bonyth is going to gateway expand, which means you can't go for the hatch first. We already saw Rossi go for that and he got punished by a 2-gate. But also, Bonyth doesn't have to gateway expand, but Jaeyun's got to respect it, so he's going to go overpool. Oh, there's the 2-gate. 2-gate again, yes!
I love it. I could watch Bonyth 2-gate all day long. Like, 2-gate and 1-base Reaver. Those are the only 2 builds you're allowed to do, Bonyth. This is my decree. As Caesar of StarCraft, I want to watch these builds in my Coliseum for my own personal entertainment. So, yeah, I love it. This is going to be fantastic. This is a lot for Jaeyun to deal with. He had pretty good Hydra micro there for the most part, but, I mean, this is Bonyth we're talking about.
Yeah, and just like in the series versus Crossy, this is going to be a 10-gate. We'll still have to wait and see if it's going to be a 12-gate follow-up. In Jaeyun, he is actually going to go for 11 hatch, 10 pool. I was talking about it earlier. I think 11 hatch, 10 pool. You can stop 2-gate with it, but it's still going to be very hard. We saw Crossy, I guess, stop it, but then overreacted with the Lings. Okay, is that going to be a 2nd gate? Yes. 2nd gate. So identical builds on the same map.
Yeah, I love it. Man, I would really like to see him lose with this build and have to play another build on this map. Because I don't know if, I mean, obviously he's got more than 1 build per map, but I guess he just fine-tunes it down to the best one. So, can't fault him. If it works, why stop? So, I think the other version is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I'm trying to be as literate as possible here.
We'll have to see how many Zealots he's going to build. Last time we saw, I think it was 9 versus Crossy before taking the expansion. Is he going to try and continue to 1 base? I don't think he'll do that, but it is a potential that he may try and just go into tech afterwards. First Zealot is moving out. He sees that the Overlord comes from bottom left, and now he knows exactly where Jaeyun is. At least Jaeyun sees the Zealot, so he knows what's coming, and he sees that it's a 2-gate.
Yeah, so at least that information is good. Doesn't save you from the Zealots. They're still coming. So let's see. First Zealot is obviously waiting for the next couple. And once those 3 kind of group up, we're going to head down to this natural, which is only just now being placed.
We do have basically the same reaction as Crossy went for. We're getting gas. We're going to get speed pretty quickly. And we do have 5 Zealots already out on the map. Bonyth's going to send a probe down to take an expansion pretty soon. But here come 3 Zealots. Probe. Still alive, being annoying in the main. If the probe just draws attention of the Lings to the main... Okay, Sunken's almost done. I thought that he was going to have 3 Lings versus 3 Zealots.
It's a somewhat unfair fight there, Nyoken. Well, also there's a Sunken now, so this should be pretty easy to hold on. But I mean, it's 2x2x2. This is going to be like the reverse Noah's Ark, where the Zealots just come out in 2s instead of going in. But I think there should be enough. It's going to force out a lot of Lings, though, so that's kind of already mission accomplished.
Yeah, a lot of Lings being built, and actually a deviation from Jaeyun. He's not getting speed. He's instead getting lair. Now, Bonyth was in the main the whole time, so he saw that gas was being mined. So he doesn't know if there's speed or lair just yet, but when he sees that speed doesn't kick in pretty soon, he's going to be pretty sure that this is a lair follow-up. And actually, this game he's not expanding, so smartly he's got the correct opener, because now he's going to be able to get a Stargate when he sees that there's no speed.
Man, this is so... oh, God, Bonyth's so good. So yeah, he is actually going to read this correctly. I believe we should see that coming down here pretty soon. But I also wonder what the plan is for all of these Zealots. Is he just going to go for it and say, I've got a bit more than you, this is how I win the game? Or is he just going to keep the pressure up to keep forcing out more and more Lings until he either forces speed, which I guess he already has, or pulls back and just defends?
Well, he may just go for it. This is 9 Zealots with a probe that does a substantial amount of damage. Jaeyun, he doesn't have the greatest angle to block because there's not a great SimCity. Here we go, Bonyth going for it.
Yeah, trying to run by a little bit. He wants to get up that ramp. There's still Zerglings flooding down. That Sunken's really worth its weight in goo, I guess. But the Zealots and the probe are going to make it all the way up into the main.
I think that's it, Rapid. There's no Sunken. There's no Lings. There's an overwhelming amount of Zealots. He confirms the Spire. Stargate was already building anyways.
Now, let's not say no Lings, Nyoken. He's got a single-digit number. Also, we are laggerinoing super hardcore here. We are on extra high latency, guys, so we're doing our best.
The drill is as good as it's going to be because the angle is just non-existent. Bonyth doing a good job to make sure he can't get drilled. And now, look at this Spire placement. He can just completely surround it with the Zealots. But it doesn't matter because the Zealots just can kill anything. He doesn't even necessarily have to kill the Spire. He can just kill the drones, kill the Lings. This is it.
Now, this is certainly it. This is super it. That's it. Wow. Damn. Bonyth. You're now only allowed to build 1 gateway per game just to make it fair. Come on. My boy Jaeyun, like, I mean, we go way back. We're like that. But unfortunately, we got to see him go. We will see him coming up in a little bit in the final match of the day, but we're not going to see Bonyth until we get to the round of 8 because that is where he is going. So congratulations, Bonyth advances on in dominant fashion. Wow, that was powerful.
Yeah, and it's not like Jaeyun didn't see it coming. He got a full scout off. It was a first scout, knew exactly what was coming, and Bonyth still just smacked him around like it was nothing. And I like how Bonyth read it correctly. He didn't expand. He just knew that it's going to be there. So a brilliant play from Bonyth, and I'm happy to see him make it out because he's probably my favorite Protoss. Like I was saying earlier, this is somebody that you can imitate. So it's really nice to see him make it out. Yeah.
Now, Bonyth is like the first time you read the sound and the fury. It's just like, oh, I can't. It's just the greatness. It's right there. So we will be seeing him further on in the round of 8. But for now, we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we have the losers match to decide who is the first player eliminated from BSL Season 7 Group 3. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.